Hi there, Cancer, and anybody else tuning into your video here. This is your October 2021 tarot card reading. It is also a channeled message, so always take it as you will, but the energy sometimes does come through, well, it can come through in a number of ways, right? Ultimately, though, it is coming through in the way that it is felt. So I am channeling literally the energy to you, what I'm feeling, and I take time to meditate before I jump into the readings usually. And so I was getting quite a few things coming through. In the meantime, we'll start to shuffle the cards. This is the Golden Tarot. This is the Golden Nouveau Tarot deck. And but Cancer, wow. First things first, welcome here. This is October 2021. This is a particular reading because we have about 5 planets here, generational planets retrograde at the time of October. We also, in addition to that, will have Mercury in retrograde in the sign of Libra. This has not been, especially during these particular dates of and dual degrees of Cancer, rather, Libra, since 2015, August, September, October. So we may be taking a little bit of a hike back there. In other words, the messages that come through may be touching upon what, in other words, the energy that's coming through may touch upon the energy that was some time ago, we'll say. But really, what is time and space? Let's get into it. The King of Wands upright and the Sun in reverse. Now, it's interesting, Cancer. Let's take a moment here to get to what came through before I turn on the camera up. Well, I made some tea here. And we spilled it. we literally spilled it. Not like, ha ha ha, now it's funny, like, yeah, like, tea and, like, spilling it. And no, we literally fucking spilled the tea. Look at that. These are the sort of 2 pages by which we have defined we have the definitions of the runes, and we've been working with the runes here for the past few readings, and yeah, the tea just spilled all over the definitions sheet, so it's okay. We've been working with the runes for quite some time, but it's sort of something we're getting back into after some time, and so we had those printed out just for sort of kicks. But hey, we're working with no training wheels, it seems now from here on out, so let's get used to it. All right, we're gonna put these to the side then, so that we have more real estate to work with when it comes to the tarot cards for you, Cancer. Your Cancer in October 2021. Wow. Well, guess what? Right off the bat, I feel like this is going to be a huge turning point for you. There are things that you will see in yourself and others that are going to change the way that you see how you see the story unfolding, maybe with them and with yourself, when it comes to how you tell your story out for yourself in your life. In other words, you know, how do you manifest? That's gonna, I see, change in some capacity. Now, I am again channeling here, so I work with ultimately your spirit guides. Okay, we're all sort of here, obviously engaging as one, but there are messages here that, you know, your guides may want you to be more aware of, and it ultimately brings you back to the conversation with your higher self. What is it that you do with you in this story? How do you tell yourself what you need to know at this moment in time? And only you know the answer to that, right? Only you know the answer to those questions, Cancer. It's not about someone giving you the so-called answer. It's about reflection. So I'm not telling you like secrets. It's not about like, oh my God, like what does Nat know that I don't know? It's about reflection of the truth, the eternal sort of the truth that is you. And so you may be reconnecting even to yourself in a completely new way. It's like, wow, you know what? This side of me, I never really saw it like that. Wow, I'm starting to awaken as I feel it to things about myself that I had never really seen. I felt, but I couldn't put my finger on it. So that's the role that tarot, I believe, should play. It should reorient you. It should re-navigate you back to you and the connection that you have, you and your higher self. Let's get back into it here for Cancer. We'll pull the cards here for each of the days. October 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. We've already got cards out. Whoa. I think I've got an eyelash right then in my left eye. Take it as you will. Okay, I'm hearing stumbling blocks. Now, there might be something here kind of challenging coming up. I feel like it's not inherently so. And in a minute, we're going to get to the messages further that I was getting as I was meditating on energy before to the camera. But dear Cancer, I'm seeing that, you know, there is something here that is a little bit so-called challenging. It's, again, it's not inherently nothing really is anything. It's what we make it. So there's something of an interpretation, though, here, point where you say, you know what? I don't really need to move through this the way that I have. It can be karmic. It's like, hey, I realize this is karmic and I want to end the cycle now. So this is about you stepping forward. This is about you taking leadership on. And I'm reminded of the rune Tear. It would be very interesting to see if that rune would come through here for you. We're going to pull all the charms, but we'll see where it does land. And we're at the end of this video going to pull an hour, let's clear, a daily pull as well, yeah, with the runes, just entirely with the hours of the month. Let's get back to it though here for you now, Cancer. There's a lot here in store. Now, what I was getting as I was meditating on your energy is that, let's clear the energy around. Yeah, there's a lot of history coming up. I feel like by the end of October, you will feel like a totally different person. Yes, and there is a huge opportunity. What I'm getting, Cancer, is number one, do not have fear. I'm hearing it in this way. That is the number one thing that you want to avoid, is sort of acting at least out of fear. You know, process fear, don't fear fear, but let it kind of come through and observe it. We have a lot of planets here shifting out and you know, this is the season of Libra shifting into Scorpio. You do have the Death card prominently placed in your chart up in that first week of October for you. And so it's quite interesting, yeah, and it's upright. That is Scorpio's energy. You take it as you will. It is mirroring the Knight of Wands. It is mirroring the Knight of Pentacles as well. The Knight of Pentacles upright leading you out. I feel like there's something here you will realize is something quite profound. Now let's clear it and ground. It actually comes through for you on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the 5th of October. Now, Cancer. I'm hearing Leo, Scorpio. What I'm getting is, yes, there is a focus here on a particular opportunity. I see it coming through in a big way, but the important thing here is I'm hearing it, and as I was getting it when I was meditating, is that you really want to look at this experience as something that is an opportunity that leads you into a whole new world. Not so much a reflection point of the past. Interestingly, even though we do have a retrograde cycle here, I feel like it's going to be most advantageous for you to really look at what comes up here without judging it based on what has been. That's kind of tricky because, again, with retrogrades, we can really sort of associate, what comes up as like, oh, is that like what I was experiencing back then, way back then? Try to look at it with fresh eyes. And that can be for you saying, hey, I want to be kind of like more inspired here. I want to challenge myself to not judge the storyline here based on what I have seen. I'm hearing of it in the past. Now, that can mean different things for different people at different times. It can mean different things for the same people at different times. It's a matter of how you direct and lead your ultimate prioritized vision in the space. So remembering that you are the not just the creator, but also the perceiver. And it's almost like if you don't observe the cash in your wallet, if you just happen to not see it, is the cash there? Can you use it? You know what I'm saying? It's about how you perceive of also your assets, your talents, and that really comes down to what you're ready for, right? We can't get hard on ourselves like, damn, I didn't see the opportunity, like, I'm such a failure. No way. Okay, there are reasons for why we see certain things at certain times and why we don't see certain things at other times. Let's clear the energy around. Yeah, definitely, obviously, right? That's about life. That's about growth. So if you don't see a certain storyline here at a certain time manifesting, that is maybe a reflection point that it's not time yet to manifest whatever that is in that moment in time. So there is a flow state in every moment. It's not like we're either in or out of flow, but we do have potential, and it is up to us, though, to always continue to see it further beyond the point of which we've seen it in the past. For a number of you, you're definitely moving through your karma. This is not easy. This is huge. This is a big turning point. Again, like we said, this is going to be a massive reawakening. Reawakening. Maybe it's, a sort of moment where you say, gosh, Nat, this really reminds me of something I've experienced. I kind of want to run away. I don't want to deal with it. I'm hearing that. Cancer, I'm hearing it in this way for you. You know, the Two of Cups universe. Someone's afraid of fucking love right here. Right? They're afraid of love, like true love. We're talking true love. I'm seeing 2 bones here. I don't know what else I'm doing. Like bones. Like I'm seeing 2 bones. Okay. Let's clear it around. Yeah, it's like, Cancer, again, I'm hearing from your spirit guides, you know, try to focus, try to tip the scales into what you want to see, what you want to feel as the outcome. Okay, the more you sort of concentrate on, well, what if that happens, and then remember last time, and, you know, the strategizing of, like, how do I fit fear into my luggage, along with this really exciting new beginning, like, that's going to be something that TSA scans through, and you're going to have to deal with it one way or another down the line as well, even if you start this new beginning and you go for it, but in the back of your mind, you have this inherent sort of fear. That's going to come through. I'm hearing it in this sense. You got to take it as you will. We got makeup all over our hand. Okay. Oh, well. Is it also raccoon eye? Okay. Well, either way, yeah, again, it's going to come back down to you, Cancer. You can rock your fears as well. You can say, hey, I'm not going to fear my fears. I'm going to bring my fears with me, but it is about my perspective of them. Am I going to bring them forward as a sort of shield? Am I going to defend myself from my own story? Myself from myself? Am I going to defend myself from myself with my fears? Or am I going to actualize them as capacities for growth and momentum? So, you know, it's about honesty. I think it's about transparency. It's about saying the things that we feel, you know, others may also not want to hear. It's about how we are broadcasting our connection to our higher self, how we are being brave in communicating with ourself in our story, in our own story. There's no one really observing you but you at that point, right? What does that mean? What the hell does that mean? It means when you're honest, when you're hitting that vibration of your highest suit, we'll say, when you are being just completely true and mirroring your passion, who's really there in that moment? You. Entirely. And the more honest you are, right? Okay, the more you're flexing yourself in the truest sort of frequency space, the more of you is there in that moment. And so it's interesting because then, well, at that point we ask, well, then who else is in that reality with us in that moment? Well, the answer is so clear. It is the reflections of you. So the more honest you are with yourself, in other words, Cancer, the more you will invite similar like frequencies, okay, into your space. The more honest you are with yourself, the more you will invite energies that are also honest here with you. So if you're in a moment and you're saying, well, what am I manifesting? Can I trust this person? Can you trust you? What is the frequency you're emitting with yourself in your life, in your story, in that moment right there? So some of you here are transitioning. I'm hearing this way. At least you are kind of experiencing things that are asking you to question that more deeply. How do you reflect yourself? The Queen of Cups in reverse. It is challenging. It's not to say that it is so simple and so easy, but wow, boy, do you have an opportunity here on the table for you, Cancer, once you do make the effort to answer those questions for yourself. Come here in this way, in the way that you feel them to be true for you. There is an existential moment here. I feel like we can call it like a midlife crisis or whatever we want to call it, but it is what we feel it to be. Okay, at the end of the day, how do I say what I really feel? And how do I not fear what I feel? And in the way that I say it, how do I explain it the way that I don't understand it, but the way that I want it to be seen as my story by not just others, but also me. When I observe it once again in the way that I tell it through time, to be for me only, and for me, interesting, as a reflection of, I'm hearing the me that was me, to be observed again. Whoa, the High Priestess. Some of you here, you gotta be brave. I feel like, yep, Ten of Swords, the Empress. Chariot. Okay, so how do we tell it as it is? No matter what. Yeah, you heard me, Cancer. Wait, now, what? Hold on. Wait, hold on. Can you put your hair down? Give me something to grab onto. What the fuck did you just say? No, yeah. How do we say it? No matter what. The truth, the way that we know it to be. How do we, just come on, Cancer, now level with me. I know you know the Empress and the Chariot. There's something that you do for you. Okay. When is it that you will extend that story for others? And I'm seeing an eagle here. Whoa, on the Judgment card. I'm seeing an eagle, like, you know, like a falcon eagle, like with the yellow beak. I'm seeing that here with the Judgment card. Some of you, you have a side to you. 9 of Pentacles popped out right there. Look at that card. Some of you have a side to you that is going to be a surprise to others. Okay, like oh, how do we say this? How do we explain this to Cancer? Cancer, if you were to share the side of you with others, people would be, they may. What's people? There are all kinds of people, right? Well, let's say it like this. You would definitely be turning heads. Some of you here, I want to say it in a simple way. Yeah, like, let's clear it. Some of you, you're going to be famous. But you have to be brave with how you call your story out. Okay, this is something that really is a reflection point of, you know, wow. This is so, okay, let's clear it again. 5 of Pentacles, 6 of Cups, and then 9 of Cups in between. Some of you have a talent even, an ability, a gift. Yes. But you don't. I don't know if you don't see it. I'm seeing a skull here. It's like you got some maybe like latent subconscious fear. I don't see you actually consciously fearing whatever this is. It's more like something that you will realize once you sort of realize that you're not carrying this out. What is that about? Let's get some Gummy Bear Tarot cards on that Nine of Pentacles in the subconscious. What? What do you mean, Nat? The Five of Cups upright. Okay, some of you here, this is something that it's related to childhood. I feel this. It's something that maybe like you never really, it could be a cultural thing. Like you never considered yourself to like be good at something like this, or, you know, it was never something that was brought forth. It's like, you know how we have like different, you know, like in school, like we have different subjects, math, literature, history, okay, like art, etc. I feel like this was one of the things that we never really had the chance maybe to discover about ourselves, but I feel like you have some kind of talent here with that. The Hermit, Six of Swords, yeah, that that world that we don't talk about. Maybe it's kind of taboo even. You got 2 9s, let's clear it. That's Jupiter energy as well. Some of you, you got another Five of Pentacles on the same Five of Pentacles. Okay, so you definitely have an ability, but it's like something that you do more like as a hobby. Well, why not make it your full-time profession? I'm hearing like that. 9 of Cups and the 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, so there's something here. Maybe you were like brought up in a country that said, oh, you can't do these things, you know, that you really love, but that, you know, you can't make money from. Really? Okay, 9 of Cups and the 9 of Pentacles. I feel, again, this is not like a conscious decision of you like literally thinking, I can't do this for a living because. Take it as you will. This can be a theme that you've been working on since 2015. Again, Judgment and the Ace of Pentacles. Take it as you will. Ace of Pentacles and Judgment card. Whatever it is, we're getting more honest. You lead out with the High Priestess in reverse, the Death card upright. For some of you, there could be someone here or some energy space that helps you stimulate this new conversation here, so-called, that you're having with yourself. It's not really new though, Cancer, because yet again, is honesty something that we innovate? Is it something that we've never known and then we now discovered? Is it something that we just simply remember? What is recollection worth in the relationship space of what is, cannot, I'm hearing what is not and cannot be timed out, what cannot be spaced out. So this is about your DNA. I'm hearing it this way, and the reactivation of it. Some of you, this is something you're going to remember of yourself. It is something that you have a gift with, a really amazing talent at. It has to do with people, possibly networks of people, networking. I see this has to do possibly with some kind of philanthropic cause as well at a certain point. Five of Pentacles, let's clear the energy. Five of Pentacles, yeah. Some of you were like kind of shy. I feel like you kind of did this, but like on your downtime, so-called. It's like, what a shame. Why don't you do it full time? I'm hearing this. But this is a general video. Always take it as you will. But the Hangman here upright. Some of you maybe have you're interacting with a Pisces. Someone is helping bring. Yep. Some of you have a really good Pisces friend. They're bringing these thoughts back up for you in some sense, possibly not maybe consciously. You know, when you meet people and like we're having a conversation about tacos, and then it kind of starts bringing up like these other sort of, you know, motions and waves in the brain and the synapses and the, you know, the equations and in our mind's eye. Ultimately, you know, we start to have new feelings, emotions, and epiphanies. That's the Hangman that I'm seeing with the Four Cups and Chariot. By the way, yet again, I'm channeling. So this is not like Natalie's energy. We have to start looking at it as energy. I'm not acting. I am channeling. So this is the energy of Cancer that I'm feeling for the last 5-6 years. Take it as you want, possibly longer, because what is time and space in relation to energy, right? Really, if we really want to get down to it, okay. Right, so what came through back in 2015 was it really just that moment, like, whoa, new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. Yeah, it's a new form of perceiving what has been eternally. Let's continue on that. Temperance card in reverse, Eight of Cups upright. Some of you here, let's clear it. There is a competitive energy here. I feel like you're gonna have to kind of just swipe left to people who you know are not going to resonate with you, and that's that. Sorry, you're going to fall flat on your face if I'm not going to be the one here to bring you back up. Well, that's going to have to be that. So maybe letting go in karma. And it's heavy. And I feel like it's going to be a relief for you, actually. I feel like Cancer, you're going to get into this mode of stepping out of the space of injustice and telling yourself that you had to be in situations like that. Like, I'm sorry, no. I don't have to do those things. I don't have to be in that kind of situation. Some of you are growing out of the pain of what you perceive yourself to have to sort of deal with, to be dealing with. No. Let's clear it. You deserve something way broader than a life of sorrow. I'm hearing that, of pain. Lovers in reverse, Empress upright, Chariot upright. Some of you are going to meet the love of your life. I'm hearing like this, Cancer. Some of you here have a huge opportunity coming. Chariot, Empress in that second week. It is a Mercury retrograde though. Still, we have to remember that October here is going to be a retrograde season. So anyone new popping up, I would give it maybe a month until we see at least pre-shadow of Mercury. Okay, clearing, or post-shadow of Mercury retrograde clearing. I don't really like to move forward for the first time with something completely new during a retrograde, just because it may not be as it seems, and I've had enough experiences to promise that to myself. Natalie, I don't care who the heck they appear to be, you do not. Okay, take it to the next level the first time that you meet them if it's during a retrograde. So take it as you will though, you do it. I'm seeing a tail of a raccoon here. Let's clear it around. Yeah, it's like, you know, sometimes it can, yeah, really be so-called, you know, seem a certain way, and then it ends up being, you know, another. So always second guess, always, even if it's something that has been for quite some time, if it comes back around during a Mercury retro, you know, maybe don't, like, just kind of make your decision in that moment. Like, you always take it as you will, though I can't tell you what to do, right? At the end of this reading, we're going to pull runes on every hour of the next 30 days, and we're going to see anything that pops up. If we get sort of void of course hours here as well, I'll mention that. Okay, coming to mind, Justice in reverse, Knight of Cups upright. Some of you, oh, there's something. Okay, this comes down to love for some. If you got a Venus in Cancer especially, or Venus in the fourth house, this could also hold, or Venus conjunct the moon, or some kind of major configuration between the two. I'm seeing that for some of you, this comes down to love and what you feel you're worth. It's like some of you have to kind of just really rescale and reformat the way that you observe yourself in matters of love, matters of the heart. I'm hearing illogical. Some of you will turn back on your story and say, that's not where I need to be at in my life. Some of you here are dealing with absolute nonsense. Like when it comes to your relationship, some of you possibly even dealing with even a boss who's kind of domineering. It's like, you put up with that though? Oh my god. Like, no, you look back on it, it's like, he's fucking narcissistic. Yeah, you're fucking narcissistic. I'm gonna call it out. I don't need to be dealing with you. Love and light. Okay, and yeah, no, you started to see past the illusion, past the veil that they cast around the one that aligns you with your higher self. Ooh, I don't know what that's going to do. Let's clear it and ground. So, well, it's karmic. Yeah, Nine of Swords. Oh my god. So some of you realized that something was not for you. It wasn't your story. You were kind of picking up someone else's karma at a certain point, even. I'm hearing that. And you know what? Let's clear it. Yeah. No, I see you clearing something out there in a big way. You realize, I don't need this person. I don't need this. And you really start to remanifest what the minute that you tell the universe, I've told myself the story differently now, here today. You lead out with the King of Cups in reverse. Let's clear it. I'm telling it out differently here today. You lead out with the Emperor on the King of Cups in reverse. Okay. Cancer, I want you to be brave this month. Give it time. If you make a decision that's right for you, don't, like, immediately look, what's the feedback? Do people, like, support me in this new version of me, of myself? Just, I'm hearing Maxim commercial. It's like, for example, I'm seeing a flower here, bro. I'm seeing some kind of flower bouquet even. You post a picture on Instagram, okay? You felt in your heart that was something you wanted to do. Don't look back and be like, oh my god, like, is he, like, looking? Like, are people liking it? Are people doing this and that? It's like, because you cannot connect the dots for everyone. If they don't understand that moment, that's up to them. Let them get it if it is right at a certain point down the line. I'm seeing writing in Greek here. You're on a path, Cancer, and it's not your problem who's on it with you or not, and it's not also, you know, you're doing if somebody's on it or not, right? We cannot make people ascend. I'm hearing that as well, or access certain parts and dimensions of their higher self and their being, ultimately their DNA. This is about ascension, obviously. That's why we're doing these readings. I'm not like a psychic crystal ball lady, even though I am very much clairvoyant, clairsentient, very sensitive, empathic. You know, I'll give you a little story. It was about, then so many, itching my nose right there, so many ways in which, right, we can observe energy as being relevant to us in the way that we all can also tap into it. But it was about 6 months, 8 months, 11 months prior to when the corona pandemic sort of began. I was channeling. This was back in May 2019, and I did a channeling, just as I am doing here now, and I said, keep clear of corona. I don't know what that means, guys, but keep clear of corona. Maybe beer? Well, okay, down the line, all right, here we go. All the way we hike back around, and it's like, wait a second. Someone went on that video and commented, Nat, I think that was not, yeah, it was not beer, and it wasn't Crown, it was, it was the fucking pandemic. So that we have here today. And so we went back and I was like, whoa. So to say it in the way that, right, I'm obviously sensitive and also heed your personal intuition, right? Make your story, yours ultimately, right? Don't let anybody sort of tell you what's what for you. And of course, we can also look back at messages and say, well, that makes sense in that way now. That makes sense in that way now. Now, let's get back to Cancer. And so it's very interesting, right? So messages may also take time to manifest. But anyways, yes, I'm obviously very, very sensitive. And some can say psychic. We're all psychic in some sense. We're all channelers in some sense. I happen to be very, very, very sensitive. I have 3 grand water trines in my birth chart. Very, very sensitive. The star here. I find myself to be on a journey. So there's a reason, right, obviously why I'm in this space, but do not let anyone sort of tell you who you are to you. You are the manifester. You are the creator. And the point of reflection is simply just to bring you back to that notion. It's not about like making anyone your world, even if you have a very strong, heck, let's say you meet someone in real life, okay? Even if we're channeling here together, right now, and you're watching this reading, right? We can say, wow, we're sort of meeting, right? Yeah. And so we can kind of say, wow, what a strong connection. I feel like Nat's channeling my energy. Obviously, right there, we can say in some dimension, there's a soul contract, there's a soulmate connection. But let's just say, for the heck of it, you meet someone here in 3D, okay? And you're like, gosh, I really feel such a strong connection, right? Okay. Even in a case like that, right? It's like, okay, even if you feel like they're your freaking twin flame, okay? Even if, they're never going to replace you in your own story. They're never going to replace your story. So always remember that you need to continuously tell your own story out. Even if you happen to have a fucking long-term relationship with that person that you call to be your soulmate, your twin flame, it never replaces your own. So that's, and that could be sometimes troubling. I can say as a Pisces sun sign in Western astrology, I am very sensitive to who I so-called date or whatnot. Okay? And I haven't dated in like fucking forever, but like, as dating, okay? I can tell you openly that I am very sensitive. And that's why I'm also quite careful who I interact with, because I tend to kind of like almost take on the energy space. And I have to have boundaries very clearly in that space oftentimes. And remind myself that I am my own entity and my own being. So with people with a lot of water in the chart, let's go with energy profiles that contain quite a bit of water. Okay, you can be very much empathic, but you will never be that person. So that's sometimes hard, especially when you're in a relationship, you can kind of almost like feel like you're becoming that person, or you're kind of, absorbing their frequencies. So, to bring it back, right? It doesn't matter which scenario you're in, okay? It's always going to come back to you. And we come here into this space, right? This dimension as a sovereign being. You are here as your own soul, as your entity frequency, okay? And it's one that is independent. Yes, it is obviously part of the grander collective, but you made that intention space, that direction, and that decision to manifest here in this form. That was your story. Okay, so never through life is it that think about it, right? You're never going to, you come here as an independent being and you leave so-called as an independent being. You transform and you evolve continuously as your story and your cycle. So there is a focus here, okay? Let's clear it around. Yeah, there is a focus here on what you continue to sing out loud as well. When are you shy? When do you want to sort of, backstreet boy it out and like masquerade your voice in the song like someone else's? Like, when is it at that point that we want to sort of dim our own light, what we know to be true for us, to bring greater light to something else that may be true for another? Then what's the good of that? Okay, like, why would we not, in other words, manifest our story the way that we feel it? Have confidence, Cancer, in who you are. Have confidence in why it is that you're here to tell your story out loud in this way, at your speed, at your frequency. Let's clear it and ground. Whoa, feeling heat in the left ear right there, down the left side of the body. Let's clear it all the way up, all the way down through the entire chakra system. The Lover's upright, the Magician upright, and the Moon upright. Some of you here are going to be going through a crazy intense cycle. It doesn't have to be freaky. It doesn't have to be unsettling and grounding. If you remember one single thing yet again. First of all, that time doesn't exist. We have nowhere to arrive. We have no person in indefinitely to be. We just need to mirror ourselves. And it's about how it is that we move forward. The currency here for you is your emotional validation that you give yourself. Are you feeling satisfied? Your emotion is going to be your meter, as I get it here, Cancer, during this month, of how successful, how happy you feel. The more honest you are emotionally with your higher self, the more you're going to feel that you're also making progress. Okay, that is, yet again, I'm hearing in this sense, your currency. So you don't want to be, okay, sacrificing that. I see it. If you are to really, keep steadfast with one thing here and be very scrupulous with how it is that you so-called transact throughout this month, I would keep a really close eye on your emotional reserves. Okay, how it is that you give of yourself emotionally, how it is that you checkpoint yourself at every point. You say, am I really feeling myself here emotionally? Or what's the reason? What's the motivation for me to kind of question your intention in every moment? What is it that is sort of motivating me to participate in this space? I want to make sure that I am in resonance with it emotionally. So for some of you here, you're getting really, really, really tight with your so-called emotional budget. I see you having really good boundaries here, Cancer. You're getting to know who you are emotionally as well. And you're not afraid. It's like, I'm not desperate to interact. I don't have to interact with just anyone who wants to interact with me. I can give myself the validation, okay? Because it really comes down back to one single thing. It's my honesty. If I'm honest with myself, let's say it like this, Cancer. Let's just say it like this, Cancer. Let's clear it around, backtrack, clearing around. If I'm honest with myself, what more is there? Who else am I talking to in that space? The emotional honesty point, the reciprocity, can only be reflected. It's not like, oh my God, I am not emotionally fulfilled. John will be the one to emotionally fulfill me. That is not reflection. That is codependence. And we, I think, realize at a certain point here, if I can say it in this way, Cancer. And I have my sun in the house of Cancer. My sun sign is in Pisces, but in the house of Cancer / Leo, I can say that is not the most empowering place to be. Okay? When you feel like your happiness is dependent upon what another gives you, even if it is at a certain point satisfaction, okay? Yeah, the illusion. Oh my God, it's the best thing to be in a marriage that gives you everything and that may, is your everything, and that's kind of an illusion, right? Because what is it giving you? In that moment, if something is giving you something that makes you feel something, okay, outside of yourself, where did the reflection go? In a way, it kind of tells you, hey, you're not enough, right? So you don't need anything. That's what let's get back to it. You don't need anything to be happy, to be satisfied, other than reflection. I think that in life, in this dimension, we tend to feel kind of unsatisfied and frustrated when we feel like we are depending on something to make us feel good. When we are needing to sort of identify things that we need to fill in some kind of void. It's like, that's not really anything that we then feel in that moment. It's something that we are sort of creating as a need, okay, and sort of trying to, in a space of resistance of the inborn truth frequency, create as a sort of answer to our so-called problems. We are actually, in reflection, perfect, as long as, I'm hearing in this sense, we understand our purpose. In other words, we move forward when we are honest with our true story of why we're here. Some of you, maybe, you were in situations, in relationships, in jobs that were just not you. They were, but they weren't. Okay? But here's the thing again. It's like, why live with sacrifices? If something is not going to absolutely reflect your highest self, your truth. Okay, if you have to be this but that. If it's sort of a strategic, that kind of works for me, but then that really doesn't, but then what is that? You are perfect. So it's just about reflection. I'm hearing this really strongly as a message, Cancer. It's not about manipulating your perfection to be something that you need to do something about. I'm hearing that as well. If you were not already, you would not be here in this third dimension. You are the same as you ever were. I'm hearing in this sense. You are just the journey of your spirit, of your story, of your soul's gold. I'm hearing it like this. You don't have anywhere really to go. You don't have anyone really to be. When we feel frustrated in life and we feel stagnating and like we feel stagnant and slow down, it's when we perceive and we place impositions upon our soul, when we see ourselves as untrue, as undefined. Oh, interesting. When we're on that quest to define ourselves and try to make different sort of, you know, volumes of text, interesting to bring that story, you know, into life in some way, to breathe story into our life in some way. That's when we feel lonely, because we have detached from the principle of perfection that is our relationship to our higher self. It's a bit abstract, but I do hope you get it, Cancer, because I feel that you are this truly. And as you see it, when you really connect, I feel that you understand this concept of you being you first before you're anybody for anybody else. Maybe this is what, you know, you're meditating on. You're telling yourself, I come before anyone else truly. And it's not in a selfish way. It's in the sense of saying that I realize who I am, which is a reflection point for others as well. So I do the best that I can do for others when I'm honest with myself. It's an illusion that doing what's right for me is wrong for others, because it's vibration. And yeah, so, you know, there are things that we have to kind of clear out in the consciousness, okay? We have to clear out these, you know, sort of, can we say kind of like these tendencies, these devilish sort of tendencies, the shadow identity space where we say, I don't know, like, really what I connect to in my life. That's not true. It is, but it's not true because, well, okay, right. We're not really connecting to anything. This is not a transactional connection that we have with our higher self. This is a frequency that we hold. How much we acknowledge it, how fully we acknowledge our relationship to our higher self in its truest form is how deeply we develop love for this experience in this dimension. It's all reflective. So it's kind of simple. You come with the answers here. I'm hearing Leo, Scorpio, Pisces, Aries. You come here with all answers to all questions. At the end of the day, it is just a matter of how proud you are to be who you've been all along. I'm hearing privately and publicly. Interesting. It's like some of you may be kind of shy. Let's clear it. Maybe some of you kind of feel like, oh, but like, think about it. Where did that come from? Really, like, okay, let's do an example. Write down one thing that you're really, really passionate about. One of your hobbies that maybe, you know, you're not pursuing as a full-time position, whatever it is, as a job or however job. Then, okay, like, write down like a reason why. Why am I not fully pursuing that? Okay. Now trace that so-called fear, reason, down, 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 down. Where did that originate? Did it originate with your upbringing, your family, a childhood experience? Let's clear it. Let's say like, oh, okay, let's give an example. Well, I really wanted to be like a monkey engineer. I don't know what that's alluding to. Take it as you will. I wanted to be a monkey engineer. Take it as you will. Maybe I wanted to create my own career. Oh, whatever it is. It's like, but like, I introduced it to like my friend back in like, you know, 3rd grade and then, like, they, like, made fun of me. Okay, so let's trace it back. So what is the fear about somebody making fun of you? Okay, so let's say someone made fun of you for that. And take it all the way through. And bring it back to you. Don't let fear stop you, in other words, Cancer. Don't let it stop somewhere. Trace fear down. Understand what is really happening there. Okay, because you have all of you in you. I'm hearing it like this, and it is about being open with that. I see it, being proud of that, being more protective of that. Interesting. Let's clear it. Where have you allowed people to come in through and kind of tell you who you are to you? Let's clear the energy. This is past life energy. This is for some of you. Absolutely. Let's clear. Where did you let people kind of love you for you? Where did you let it happen the way that you did not do it originally. Let's clear it. It's about confidence. We have the Hangman at the apex of the spread. You have a passion here. I see it. I hear it like that. You have a purpose. I see that as well. I see you getting brave. The World at the base of the Hangman. Cancer. The King of Wands. The Emperor. The Knight of Cups. Some of you are going to meet a soulmate here that turns your world around. For some of you, this could be a hobby. Let's clear it. 10 of Cups leads you out. 9 of Cups leads you in. Whoa. This is about, like, your intuition as well. Some of you really sensitive. Actually, some of you very, very psychic. Hierophant. Some of you want to start a business here with somebody. It's something that requires of you, though, to be vulnerable. And I really, like, the one thing that I would ask myself is, am I afraid of doing this because of what others may have to say about it? Think about all the things that have ever been innovated in the entirety of the universe. Okay, well, that Earth, okay. Well, take it all the way through. The one thing that pulls the creation forward is the pride, the belief in it. From that one seed of a thought, right? The impulse to create it. Think about how you're even here. How are you even here? It was an impulse of your intention to manifest here in this dimension. That's what I believe. You take it as you will. What's that? What's that? What's that? The Fool in reverse. Nothing is until it is. Realized as a possibility. If you don't manifest your world, Cancer, I'm sorry. It's because it's not possible, because you're not seeing it, because you're not observing it. You're not believing it. At least you're observing it, yes, but not in the state of possibility. As above, so below. Even if, let's say, you say, well, nothing's working out. Well, guess what? There's a whole reality where it is working out. Why not tap onto that channel? Why not tune the frequency? Right? If you got the radio on and it's fucking not playing your song, baby, why? Why? No, it's a real question, Cancer. Trail it down. Why? Not like, why is that channel playing? Because listen, in the whole universe, think about a rainbow. You have all colors, all frequencies exist. But why are you hard pressed to play that channel? What is it that you want to invite into your world, Cancer? The Star. It's a matter of readiness, possibly. King of Pentacles and the Two of Cups. There's something here that, let's clear it. Let's clear it. There's somebody here. I don't know if you see them though, Cancer, to be quite honest. Yep, Justice. There's some sort of opportunity. Maybe it's a partnership or relationship. There's some kind of opportunity. It's a business for some of you. Let's clear it. But you're just not seeing it. You just don't see it. But why? For what? It's a real question. Trace it down. How do we do that, Nat? You start with what you feel. The more lonely you're gonna feel is based on how much you're not tapping into what you feel. When you're connected to your higher self, you don't feel lonely, because that's where the all knowingness of the connection to all things is and remains and resides. So when people are saying, I feel lonely, it's because you're not connected to you. That's the irony. Let's clear it. The Fool on the Hangman. With the Lovers leading you out, and you got the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Some of you here, let's clear it. You have to get really, really, really brave with clearing the things that you know you don't resonate with. Let's clear it. Sometimes it's not as much as like connecting to that thing that I know I love, but clearing the commitments that we've had to things that we knew didn't really satisfy us. For some of you, you know, let's clear it. This is definitely past life energy, yeah. This is the mantra, the ancestral energy, the ancestral pressure I'm hearing in the sense, ultimately the pain, the karma, you guys. That we realize we don't need to carry forward into the next dimension. We make the decision to change the pattern frequencies, the world in the center of the spread. Five of Cups in reverse. You are going to do it, Cancer. I feel it for you, but you take it as you will. This is, again, free will. This is your sovereign space, right, of potential. You choose when to see the potential. You choose when, let's clear it. You choose when to walk into and welcome yourself into your destiny, into your story. You are the one who connects to you, okay? By way of entering into that sensation of being you. It's not a place, it's not a thing, it's not some particular moment as well. It is a feeling. Emotion is timeless. Come on, Cancer, isn't it true? Isn't it true? Think about the theme of nostalgia. It's never too late to feel nostalgic, hence the word itself, nostalgic. Looking way back on. Memory, emotion that you're able to tap into after years. Wow, it feels just like yesterday. What is happening right there in that moment? Right? What exactly is that? Memory, right? So, you know, take the memory of you with you. Take it as something that you know about you, that you're confident about in you, and let's clear it. Yeah, something, yeah, that you feel willing to pursue. It's not really anything but your own story and your bravery to acknowledge. Let's clear it. Your bravery, let's clear it again. Your bravery to release what is not you. Yes, because it is a simultaneous process. So you won't have room to be you and to love you if you are still hating you and hating things about you, or really, you know, really living in stories that are not your own, right? So we have to have those simultaneous conversations together. And that's where you have to do shadow work. And if you don't know what shadow work is, I would definitely research that, look into that, really look into shadow work, clearing shadow, acknowledging what the shadow is. It doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just a decision to define it and say to yourself where you stand in relation to it, right? Again, as above, so below. We need all frequencies in the radio. Signal frequency. I'm hearing band. Wow, very interesting. Sound is like color, eh? But for some of you, right? It's like, let's get back to it. There is every form, okay? You have to identify which suits you most. And this is, you know, let's clear it. If you're not happy in your job, or you're not happy in your life, or you're not happy somewhere in your experience, your story, there's no reason but, hey, why you're tuning into that frequency in that channel. So it comes back around to you, Cancer. I know you're like, but give me like the golden answer, the golden rate. Everything is. It's your decision. So it's about not being passive in your life, right? In terms of your attention. Let's clear it. It's about not being passive. It's about giving attention to the things that you do want to experience. Watering the plants in the garden that you do want to grow, right? Sometimes it's not about whether or not they can grow, it's whether or not we're watering them, right? It's about, are we ready, truly ready to smell the fragrance of that flower? Let's clear it. Or are we telling ourselves, wait, I need to like study a little more of that flower before it starts to grow. Am I ready for that? Yeah, that's where we have to ask ourselves, are we holding ourselves back from our own destiny? Subconscious, possibly. Let's clear it. Some of you have something you're like really holding on to. It's a karmic energy. I can't tell you what it is because it's different for everybody and it's perspective. So you have to identify. I would do passive regression for those of you who are really serious about getting into the shadow workspace. Doing some sort of passive regression, but always talk to your personal practitioner. You want to be balanced, mind, body, soul in that space. So it's obviously not like a unanimous sort of piece of advice, but I would definitely, you know, if you're really wanting to get further in the spiritual sort of ality of your journey, I would look into passive regression work. I would also really start to learn about the chakras, and I would really look into what is holding you back. Not as a subject, but as a story within you. What is it that I feel I still fear in relation to what I love? The star leads you out. Let's clear it and run. Let's clear it and run. It's not to say that fear is bad or that you fear fear. It's not about running away from certain ideas or things or thoughts. It's a matter of the purpose that you give them in your life. You direct where spirit is a fusion state of the two halves of you, which is polarity matrix, yin and yang, masculine, feminine, right? As above, so below. It's never going to be one thing, but you do observe how you bring those hemispheres together and how it is that you split the half down the middle. Let's clear it and ground. It's very interesting, right? I mean, you really cannot separate negative from positive, right? You really cannot. And this is a general video, you guys. We have to be grounded in watching this. Really, you do have to be kind of balanced mind, body, soul. Mind, the body, the soul. You want to definitely make sure you're grounded in watching this video as well. Heads up, right? Okay. And this is a video for entertainment purposes only. So you really, yeah, but I feel, right, we can say more existentially that, and we can sort of say that, well, everything depends on everything, right? So what is one thing if it is not a reflection point to another so-called thing? So, in other words, and this is a bit abstract possibly for some, but you have a story, and it's not about saying that it is that or is not that, but it's about identifying the direction of how you tell it to yourself, how it is that you observe it. And that is a choice. Yeah, sure, there's karma, sure, there are history, there's cycles, but it's about how it is that you retell that cycle. Ow. 8 of Swords, 6 of Pentacles. It's an illusion that, yeah, the way it's been, blah, 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 blah. You have every moment. Yeah, oh, hell yeah, I don't care how old the dog is. Tricks are tricks, babe. Yeah, tricks are tricks. 4 of Pentacles and the 3 of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune reverse. Anybody who tells you it's too late is still observing their reality based on time and space, and that doesn't apply to magic. Ace of Cups at the apex of the spread. It doesn't apply to the theory of love. You're not here as a theory, you're here as a constant. You are your manifestation. Let's clear it. Let things that fight you on that principle of love fall away. You have everything you need. The Hermit, mirroring the Ace of Cups, the Empress. Let's clear it. Some of you have a very, very challenging past life energy here that you have to come to terms with, though. Until you look it straight in the fucking third eye, you will understand it, but through the lens of what you think is happiness. Yeah, and so the more that we try to understand our happiness through this externalized sort of reality, okay, the more we try to find answers for our so-called problems in the 3D, the physical realm, okay, around us, the more we're going to feel confused. Ace of Pentacles in reverse, leading you out on the Wheel of Fortune reverse. We have a duty here to be our own mother. I'm hearing it like this. 9 of Swords, right? This is a healing of your feminine energies in relation to how it is that you have identified them through the masculine polarity complex. I'm seeing that. Some of you, yet again, look at your past life energies. The Page of Pentacles, if you feel guided, on the Knight of Pentacles, the Moon, the Judgment card, the Page of Pentacles, there's something here that is literally waiting for you to just turn to it and say, I do. See you now. The 9 of Cups and the 6 of Cups. Let's clear it. Some of you are breaking your own walls down to come back to you, to come back home to you, to reconnect with you, the deepest part of yourself. I see it like that with the 9 of Cups upright. Some of you kind of see this, I see, but more in a strategic sense, like, am I ready for this? Am I ready for this? Am I ready for this? It's not about the time. Let it sort of weather down. I see it. Let it sort of work itself out. That whole concept of time. It is about telling the emotion as a story, okay? And that can happen in any moment. In other words, today, right here, right now, you can start to love yourself. You can literally jump into that focus in the portrait and say, I see it. I'm hearing, yes, Page of Swords in reverse, Page of Cups in reverse. This is all about head versus heart. Oh, I can't yet. It's not time yet. It's blah, 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 blah. You guys, that's Training Wheels world. Training Wheels world. It's okay. And I know that you are at a point here. I feel it for you. And you got the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles leading you on. You got something here about to manifest for you, Cancer. But I'm seeing a bow on someone's hair. But you've got to bring yourself to the table. Justice. So much of the time we're like, wait, who's coming into my life? Wait, what's manifesting? Are they gonna, what's my divine counterpart? What does that even mean? If you have not arrived to your own future, your own so-called future, the Hierophant and the Justice card. This is your values, establishing them, defining them, putting them down, saying, this is what I want. This is what I want. The Devil, Justice card, mirroring the Nine of Pentacles. This is history. Sometimes we don't manifest something because our higher self is not on board. Sometimes we intellectualize it and say, oh, I know what I want though. I think I want that. Yeah, let's clear it, I think. If you really want it and it's really in the flow state with your higher self, it will be, right? It will have already manifested. So it is an illusion that you want something and it's not there already. Let's clear it. Sometimes it's a blessing in disguise that something doesn't manifest. Sometimes we think we want that thing and we fucking don't. Trust me. Okay, wait, yeah, that's the universe. That's you telling you. Trust me. For some of you, let's clear it. No, yeah, you know that you're about to make a huge transformation in your life, and sometimes we can say as well, it's sabotage, but hey, again, we circle it back and we say, well, maybe it wasn't the time for you to actualize that potential. Be gentle with yourself in this process, Cancer. Identify, though, still, ever more, what it is that you feel holds you from your greatest feat yet. That journey never stops. It never ends. We're always transforming the way that we can talk even more deeply to ourselves in this dimension. You are infinity. High Priestess there. Love doesn't begin and end anywhere, right? I'm hearing, I'm with you. Queen of Swords and Page of Cups. You have guidance here. I feel this is a general video. You always take it as you will. Let's clear it on the right side of the ankle. Right ankle, right ankle. Let's clear that. Right leg and all the way down the right side of the body. All the way up, all the way down. Let's clear it. Some of you here, yeah, let's clear all the way down, all the way up, back down. Let's clear it in ground. The Page of Five of Swords, right. Let's clear it again on the right side of the body. All the way up, all the way down. Let's clear all the way down through the right side of the body. Let's clear it through the whole body. Let's clear it and ground it. The Chariot upright. Some of you here, you have to identify what has been clinging to your aura. This is for some of you. I'm going to get really serious. Yeah, no. This is an entity and you have to identify it, because otherwise it's going to drain you. It's going to drain your life force. It's going to continue to kind of pull and yank on your resources. Some of you, this is a narcissistic frequency possibly, and it might be something that is in childhood. You have to identify it and really, really clear it, because it's something you may not be obviously aware of this. It's not like, oh my God, do I have like a slug attached to the bottom of my foot? Well, you might, but you may not see it. You're the Queen of Cups in reverse. It's not to cause fear or pandemonium. Okay, not at all. Let's go. There's no fear. It's about identification. And if you do have an entity frequency, at some point you allow that, right, to happen. Sometimes, it's an emotional attachment. So review. And the more that you identify actively and you say, well, what am I fearing in this moment? You will, by way of that, okay, identify where it is that you hold that frequency in the body as well, because it's all connected. So if you're having some kind of physical ailment, I would identify emotionally where it is that you're at with your higher self. Okay, do the real uprooting of the mantra space as well. Do the shadow work. And in identifying where it is that you still remain in a space of fear with your higher self, that's where you will unearth, okay, the physicality of that so-called problem. Dis-ease. I just see it as disconnection from the truth. The tension of holding the truth back. Think about children, right? They're so fucking honest. Usually. Let's clear it on the right side of the body. They're honest. What do they fear? Do they fear? They don't fear. They focus on what they want, on what they feel, and they express themselves in the moment. It's like they know who they are, right? So tell me, Cancer, when we get older and smarter, what happens there? Do we somehow just freaking suddenly become way more complicated? No, we just become so much more disconnected from what we've always known. So imagine if we were able to just sort of continue to mirror the truth and the vibration of honesty into the later ages and years of life, so-called, wouldn't the world be a different place? Oh my God, if everybody was just like, you know, unashamed of love, the world on the floor. The Seven of Wands. That's where I think we can really, really grow as a society when it comes to education, right? Two of Cups.
It's 9 o'clock.
Two of Cups. Seven of Swords. This is self-talk. This is all self-talk about love, about what we love, and we ultimately learn how to unlove ourselves. That's unfortunately how I see it. That's what education does, I feel, or at least, you know, upbringing when especially in situation, well, in environments that are not empowering of the relationship of oneself to the highest self. That's where we learn ways to be who we otherwise are not. Okay, the Two of Cups upright. Yeah, it's like, oh, you shouldn't love that. You should love that. Oh, no, you need to know that. That's the answer to that. That's the right answer to that. And that's not the right answer to that. Let's clear it around. There's no right way, okay? If there were, what are we doing here? We would all be doing the right way, right? So, yeah, it's like the ways in which we realize society is not manifesting in the way that we would like is when, I feel, personally, it's my personal opinion, and what I'm channeling here is that, you know, it's in the way that we start to find these different ways to manipulate the otherwise known fact of simplicity. Storytelling. The High Priestess. We all need to be much better storytellers. What are we afraid to lose? Tell your truth. What happened? So, okay, Mary no longer wants to talk. Well, then who was Mary? But a crutch to our own disconnection, our own sort of self-illusionment, right? It's like, why would we want that storyline to continue if it was something that was supporting what was fear? You understand what I'm saying? Let's clear it. It's like, if we are feeling a certain way and we do not tell it as we feel it for fear of someone not accepting us, then what is that person holding in our life but the fear of being honest? Let's clear it. What's the value of that? Let's clear it around. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about shadow. You need to identify where you hold shadow. You hold shadow. It's not anybody controlling you. That's you and you. Let's clear. I'm going to call it out. Yeah, no, it's not it's not an active role yet, you guys. That's a passive activity. So for those of you feeling like, I'm not happy in my life, like, that's because we're holding shadow. Identify the shadow. Where are you holding the shadow? Love and light. Let's clear it and ground. We're all experiencing this. All of us. This is not something that's like, oh, only some people, only Cancer. No way, bro. We're all experiencing shadow. That's why we are here in this dimension, to further illuminate. Let's clear it. Where we do not, process the light. Sun in reverse on the Nine of Cups upright. We lead out with the Ace of Wands in reverse, the Empress in reverse. The Emperor upright on the Empress in reverse. This is past life energy again. I would highly recommend, for those of you especially who are finding trouble with matters of relationships, partnerships, do the shadow work, do the passive regression, identify what it is that you fear when it comes to matters of partnerships, relationships. What is it that you feel you need in order to feel happy in partnerships, relationships? What is it that you feel you need to feel like you are accepted by your significant other? Identify those things. Identify them. Count those things. List them. Like they're assets on an accountable sheet. Start doing accounting with your shadow. Start doing accounting start doing accounting with your access to your higher self. If you want to so-called feel happy in the third dimension. Really not, but like, I was gonna buy a bicycle. It's not about that? Okay.
Well, it depends what you're valuing. Okay, you want the cycle? Continue beyond. Yeah, let's clear it. It's about, are you projecting linearly or laterally? Okay, what is your metrics for satisfaction? So I think that's really about what your decision is, though, in the moment to commit to your happiness. Now let's get into do the shadow work ultimately, but let's clear it. Sometimes as well, Cancer, it's not about you doing this work, but also you doing this work and having boundaries in that space, because when you start to do shadow work, there will be people who come in to test that frequency for you. It's only natural, especially family members, because there are cords that you're clearing, and so they feel that. They feel you sort of clearing cords, and so they will come back. Okay. Yeah, they will feel you clearing cords, and they will feel the tug. Let's clear. It's not strategic, like, oh my god, so he's an asshole. He purposely did it. No. It's that they're feeling it, and they're feeling stimulated. How many times have you, said that's it to this person, and they come back? It's because you're tugging on the cord, and they are feeling it. But you need to still hold the boundary. Let's clear it. Let them come back, but let them understand where you stand in relation to them now. So let's continue, and it's a frequency ultimately, right? It's a frequency. So let's clear it. That's the easier it is when we identify people as experiences of frequency. Let's continue. The Seven of Cups in reverse. Let's pull 5 cards here for you. Wow. You pulled the High Priestess and the Sun of the Spread with the Fool and the Chariot. It doesn't get any more intuitive than that, truly. In a sense, the Fool is the Fool. The Zenith card. We start. We begin. We have no expectations. The High Priestess. We understand the realm of manifestation from both perspectives, and we do not fear. We focus. The Chariot. Similarly, we understand the dimension and capacity from which we create the initiation, the seed, the beginning. We are our story. The Six of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups in reverse. You have some kind of, let's clear it. You have to be focused, though. I hear it in this way. I'm hearing past. It's a past life. It's some kind of ability, but you have to see the side to it that makes sense for you in this dimension now. I'm hearing that. Now let's get the cards here. We're gonna get the runes actually on the calendar. Let me get the calendar sheet. Oh, the calendar sheet, Cancer. Calendar sheet. Let's see. Some of you, I feel there's a nostalgia here. It's like, oh, but if I do that, then that. But then it's like, but then what is that thing representing if it means holding you back from your true story? Your happiness, ultimately, your passion for yourself and your life. Where are we making decisions for others? Oh, I feel they would love me to do this. But then, I'm sorry, what? That's not really, working out for you, right? So then how can it be working out for them? Then that, kind of think about it. If you think someone's happy, with you doing something that's not really good for you, who are they and what are they representing? It's then you're kind of, being kind of, just as, wicked as them to yourself. Love and light. It's yeah, no, truly. It's then you're kind of commissioning the darkness still. If you think that you're being selfless by doing something that is better for someone else, but disadvantageous for you at the end of the day, in a way, you're allowing their darkness to live through you. So you have to kind of see it as your priorities here with your light. And I'm getting really intense here, I know, but I'm just got to say it really directly like that, because we have to kind of be really honest. If we think the universe is stupid, no, it's not. And this is all going to be brought up in a very clear way. It's but I thought it was it's better for them. No, that's the trick. Their higher self wants you to do what's right for you. It's when we are afraid ultimately. But again, why would we be afraid to be bold and courageous with something such as love? Okay. Let's clear the energy and ground. I'm going to now circle these, the specific dates and times. It's funny. Jera coming through. This came through for Leo as well. Right around, very similar, drop the highlighter. Similar point in the schedule here. And you know what, Cancer? Yeah, if people want to think you're, oh my God, you're different, you're weird now, you're blah, 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 let it be. Because if they want to call your honesty weird, then they're not really in alignment with the truth principle, right? Okay, so if someone is gonna if someone's gonna judge your honesty, then they're not in alignment. I'm sorry, and I would really question why they're in your life, really, truly, and why you're giving them so much attention. Like, is that someone really who's like gonna be an asset to you on your journey of happiness, of achieving happiness? So let's clear it around. Someone's willing to judge you for what's right for you, you know, let's clear it. And maybe this is what is the role that they're playing in my life? What's the role that I'm allowing them to play in my life? On the 11th, on the 9th, but we said the 11th, take it as you will, we have Jera, the rune of prosperity, but it's also it actually symbolizes typically time in like 1 year specifically. So, and I'm seeing that coming through right around 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. There's something that you really kind of, you realize you're willing to do. I see you have an epiphany here with your passion in some sense. I see you kind of really thinking about that quite a bit. Maybe thinking about, let's clear it. You're thinking about when to carry this out. We then see here on the 13th, we see the rune Hagalas. And there is something that you have defined for yourself. You've understood. You've already created. And it's a matter of reconsidering that within the present day. Interesting. It could be a passive energy as well. I see that. Then we have Manats coming up. And this symbolizes social order, mankind. This is coming through, yeah, social order, mankind. I'm hearing as well the self. There's a story of your story. Interesting. Let's clear. Well, there is a reflection of your story. There's something that you want to maybe create. You're thinking about your public life. I see that as well. Maybe it's a new career you're thinking of. That's coming through around 7 to 9 a.m. Around 7 to 9 a.m. Let's clear. There's something that you're considering. It's your reputation. Who gives a fuck? Okay, if somebody is not, again, going to support you in your truth, they're not your audience. I'm hearing that as well. We have Urus coming through on the 18th. This is between 5 and 7 p.m. Let's clear, yeah, between 5 and 7. For a number of you, this is, again, karma. It's karmic energies, a Akashic record. It's time to clear it out. The fear-based thoughts in relation to what has been true for you all along. Interesting. The rune of Otala coming through on the 18th as well. This comes through at the end of the night. 11 p.m. approximately. 11:30 p.m. You have something that you want to really call out. Well, you want to define once and for all. Something that you want to really kind of just get really clear on, and it's about you want to get detailed with it. This is something that requires of you to be really clear and honest with yourself and with others. It's something that you want to kind of call out, though I see with Otala there at the end of the day. There's something, let's clear. There's something, let's clear. This is even in relation to your social group. You got to get really, really honest with what you want to sort of, continue to interact in the space of, and I feel you may make a few decisions there that really, really kind of also bring you back to a place of peace and sort of the sensation of this pacification, this let's clear the energy, this state of balance. We then have here Isa, which casts over the whole entire month. I feel this is a moment where you say, yeah, and you have tear coming through, actually. That's the arrow coming through at the apex of your spread. It's about, really kind of bringing the concept of nothing really happens but what I define as being a point of new grounds for me that I embark upon when I create my reality, my future, my so-called future, my story. Let's go. The way that I, create my life, really. Okay, so there's something here of a thought of saying, hey, I describe myself to myself. I tell myself what the next step is. I tell myself when I want to create. Let's clear. Yeah, and some of you have super toxic energies that you have to release, and these are people possibly, which are just thought forms ultimately, and it's about identifying them and saying that person that I'm so afraid of telling the truth to, they identify and they represent a frequency, and I have the right to understand it in a different way now here today. I don't have to listen to you. I'm hearing that with the rune of Otala. I don't have to respect what you respect just because you respect that thing. I say my name the way that I want to say it. I'm hearing that as well. And I don't concern myself with why it is that
you connect the dots differently. Love and light to everybody here, but Cancer, let's clear it. Cancer, you do not have to admire yourself in the same way that others admire themselves as well. You may have toxic friends, people who look at themselves, and you don't have to think the same way. And if you feel you do, that might be a clue for you that this is not going to be something that, you know, empowers you to tell your story in the way that empowers you the most, the way that you feel it. So I would maybe think about what friends, you know, really mean to you and the circles of friends that you connect yourself, you know, with. Tyr and Isa, let's clear it again. Yeah, as a theme, it's about leadership. It's about vibration and being more aware of what makes you feel like you are the leader of your story. What makes you feel like you are in sort of the director's position to reorient yourself in relation to your life. Love and light to you guys. And really, how do we say, your experience of passion and leading it out. Bye, you guys. Bye, Cancer. See you later.